Hi, Greg. How are you?
Hello,
I'm
Malcolm.
Malcolm McDowell from California at the moment.
The announcement, a sunnier California than what it is here in London, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Congratulations on 50 years of the brilliant A Clockwork Orange.
Thank you.
Have you revisited the film much in the intervening years? And what does A Clockwork Orange mean to you?
Well, I haven't read. The last time I saw it was at a special Cannes screening for the 40th anniversary. And that was the first time I'd seen it, oh God, in 35 years, I think. I mean, I'm not the kind of person that sit around watching their movies. And that's for sure. In fact, I don't see the new ones either at all, very rarely. But what do I think about it? Well, it's a remarkable film, of course. It must be. I mean, to last this long. What lasts 50 years? I mean, especially in such a disposable art form as cinema. I mean, you look back at the Academy winners and you can't remember them, but you never forget Clockwork Orange, ever. It's one of those that changed things outside of the movies, out in the social fabric of society. I mean, and it's the first rock and roll movie in a weird way. It's, I mean, the rock and roll love that movie. It's like, I'm always greeted like I'm an old rocker, if I meet some of these new singers and stuff, because of that movie. And, it just had some remarkable things in it. And all the social stuff, just even the look, copied by the likes of Madonna, Bowie, and Jean-Paul Gaultier, I mean, I'm just giving you a few, but it's being copied by everyone, even South Park and The Simpsons. Now, that's when you really know you've made it.
It's got that melding of that special alchemy between style and substance, hasn't it? Which is so rare to get.
Yeah,
and it's so clear.
Exactly.
Virtuosity.
I mean, of course, it's really down to Anthony Burgess. And you take a brilliant director, who has a vision for it, and followed the book very honestly. I think it's a very good adaptation, from book to screen. I mean, it doesn't follow it absolutely verbatim, but the spirit of it is.
Well, I was interested to know what you thought about that, actually, because famously Anthony Burgess sort of loathed a little bit that Kubrick excised that final redemptive chapter.
That's bullshit. That's not
well,
true.
I was going to say, how did you feel about it? But maybe
not true. Let me just put this straight.
Right.
Burgess told me, I said, what about this chapter, which Kubrick said to me, don't read. Of course, I read it. And it's ridiculous, It was asked for by, I think, the English publisher, not the American. And I may be wrong there. So it's either the English or the American publisher said, oh my God, we can't finish here, where, when he says I was cured, all right, we better make him, a normal person. So so he whipped off. He goes, look, I can't publish this unless you put this, give me something, So Burgess whipped it off. He didn't like it. It's not part of the book, and that's not the book that Kubrick read. I think he read, of course, the American version, and the English version, I think that was in the English version. I think that's correct. But I know that Burgess, he said, I did it for economic reasons. They wouldn't have published it. So, of course, I did it.
Right. But see, that makes me think as well, just it makes you wonder in the age of social media and cancel culture, whether a film as daring, bold and controversial as A Clockwork Orange could even be made today, do you think?
Sadly, probably not.
No.
I mean, no, I mean, look, it has a rape in it. Let's face it. You probably would find it hard to, well, listen, if it hadn't been Kubrick, then it wouldn't have been made, because I know that the Stones tried to get it made and they couldn't get finance. They couldn't get it done. They wanted to play the Droogs, you know, with Mick as Alex. Would have been fun. I'd like to have seen that. But look, it's the vision of Stanley Kubrick. God, he was one of the greatest directors that ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how lucky was I to fall into this? You know, I mean, when I look back, Stanley had made, well, we'll go from Paths of Glory, Spartacus, Lolita. Then he did
Strangelove,
2001, Clockwork Orange. That's quite a batting average, as they say. I mean, it's unbelievable what he did, because he managed to make films that were artistic achievements as well as being commercial hits, which is so rare. And, it takes somebody like Spielberg or something to replicate that. And Stanley, was at the forefront of that, especially the earlier movies anyway. But all his films are very watchable for very different reasons, but
absolutely,
even the ones that aren't as popular.
But you went through quite an ordeal, didn't you, whilst making it, with the broken ribs, they say, during the re-education scene, and almost drowning at one point. But the one that's probably the easiest was the scratch cornea for the iconic Ludovico technique scenes. How long did you go blind for, and how much persuasion did you take to get back and finish shooting those scenes? A lot. I mean, look, he's a very persuasive man. I was a young actor. I knew this was going to change my life. I knew that this was, I had a feeling it would be an iconic experience, a movie, because I didn't realize I'd be talking about it 50 years later. But, I didn't want to do this eye thing, especially when he asked me to redo it and he needed a big close-up. And I went, no, I can't do it, Stanley. My corneas were scratched. It was horrible. I don't want to do it. Get somebody else. You just need an eye. I said, get the stand-in. And the stand-in looked at me like, I'm not doing it. And I said, sorry, John. Didn't mean to put you in that. But in the end, I said, all right, I'll do it at the end of the film. I thought he'd forgotten about it. And we finished, and he goes, it's all set up for you to do. I went, you son of a bee. I went, you are kidding. He went, no. You said you'd do it. I'm holding you to it. I need the shot. I mean, honestly, it's debatable whether you need the shot. I think it's nonsense. When I see it, I always cringe because I look as if I've aged like 20 years from the beginning, from the first ones to the end. I was so exhausted by the time I finished that movie. It was exhausting, but I was in every frame of it. And for long, long hours, it was very physical and mental, because I was also contributing to the script and, all kinds of other stuff. So it was a real collaboration. And Stanley's known for that, though. He doesn't care where he gets an idea. As long as he feels it's a good idea, he doesn't care where it comes from. That artistic temperament, perhaps. It's one of those things where, Stanley Kubrick's vision, and it couldn't be done without him, but you're a huge part of it. When you associate somebody with such an iconic role who does it so well, and you can't imagine anyone else in that role, and that's what you've managed to do, and it will reverberate through the ages. So I'd like to say thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you. That's sweet of me to say that. Thanks, Greg. All the best.
Bye, Malcolm. Take care.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!